Welcome to the Milk and Cookies podcast. This is the podcast that has everything to do with American football and absolutely nothing to do with milk and cookies. This is episode 4 of our Miami series. It's me and Leon, of course, Dolphins fans, why not? We're going to go right into it. This is possibly the second biggest week in Dolphins offseason, right behind the NFL draft, which is subsequently in about a month and a week, so we're getting close. So, Leon, we have made quite the few signings, quite the big name signings, some smaller ones, some depth, instant starters, but overall, what grade would you give the Dolphins in this offseason?
Hey, right now I give us an A. A
Really?
minus.
A
I feel like
minus.
we hit a lot of spots, the offensive lineman. We hit a backup QB to replace Fitz. We hit some receivers to, if we release some receivers for some cat run, we hit some cheap receivers. We got a good running back. Hey, sky's the limit. I like the free agency so far.
That's fair. I'd give it a B. We've made some good strides in free agency, but there are certainly some marks that I feel like we've missed. I think one of the biggest things that I feel hasn't been addressed, and I'm still kind of going back and forth, is Albert Wilson and Allen Hearns. I still personally believe that they should be cut. They're $10 million in cap space alone, just the two of them, and they haven't played in 2020, so I don't think that these are really a roster spot. I mean, yeah, he's a speedster, and Allen Hearns is a decent, fourth, fifth string guy, but I'd rather reinvest that money into somebody that I know can produce. But other than that, there have been some good signings. Will Fuller, as of yesterday, that was much needed. The Brissett signing was good. I thought it was average. But I would say overall, my favorite signing, very underrated, not very talked about, is Justin Coleman, the cornerback that played for the Lions last year. Super cheap contract, $2.5 million. He's a nickel cornerback, probably one of the best in the entire league. Definitely a lockdown. You compare him with Jones, get him with Howard. This cornerback trio, it's not even a duo anymore. It's a trio. It's fantastic. It's beautiful.
I love it, man. Coleman is a lockdown corner. I was looking at his highlights the other day when we signed him, and he's quick. He can cover a lot. So
he's a steal too. $2.5 million, even though it's 1 year. It's a steal.
Big steal.
Right. Who's your favorite?
All right, I'm gonna go with center. The center we signed from the Ravens, Matt. I don't know how to say his last name. Skura,
yeah. Skura.
He's a big piece, man. Because I think we protect Tua. We're gonna have some fun this year. That third pick, Devontae Smith or Jamar Chase. Oh my gosh, man! Everybody's gonna have a Dolphin jersey.
Yeah. The third pick is mostly every single day that passes by, we make some trades or some signings. It's more likely that we're not going to trade down. We're just going to pick somebody out right at the number 3. But yeah, Skura is he's a good center. I did see some highlights that he did oversnap the ball with Lamar Jackson, but we got him on a cheap deal, and it's probably something we can work out. So I'm not really too concerned about that. But overall, I know I said this last week about getting another center, but this week, now that it's actually happened, the Dolphins' offensive line is for sure going to be a minimum of a top 10. No lower.
Yes,
with Jackson, Hunt, Kinley, Wilson, and then now Skura at center, I don't see how this offense can't be a top 10. Give me 7th best, minimum 7th best.
No way we can't be top 10. No way. Come on.
I don't see how we can't be top 10. Anything below that is just unlikely. I just don't believe it. But oh man, now I need to think of who my least favorite signing is. Personally, I would go with I don't know. I guess it's going between two people, but one of them is more biased than the other. Michael Palardy, the punter that we signed out of the Panthers. I'm not opposed to it. I know I had a bias towards Matt Hawk because of the relationship between Sanders and him on some of those trick plays that we did. But overall, I liked the Palardy signing. The one that I really can't wrap my head around is Malcolm Brown, the running back from the Rams. He's a solid guy. He can run 4 yards per carry. It's not bad.
He's not a bruiser. He's not like one of those guys that's going to get – he's just like a goal line running back to me. I don't understand either. You're right.
I'd see him as the who's the guy that we cut midway through the season from the Eagles?
Ajay.
No. Jordan Howard. Jordan
Howard,
Howard.
yeah, he's just like Jordan Howard, but
Hopefully he can
Jordan Howard
produce.
has Jordan Howard is more athletic than him. So it's like this dude is just a straight runner. I've watched his highlights. This dude just runs straight. Like he doesn't do anything shaky or he doesn't juke to me.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know, but then now I'm seeing reports that Chris Carson is the favorite to go to Miami as well with another decent contract. And the Carson one I'm not against as well because that helped, but it's like we have with Gaskins who is not running back number one, but he's definitely a good rotational back. Now we have Malcolm Brown, and then now we have potentially Chris Carson, and then Matt Breida is still available signed because of the restricted free agent contract. It's like we have four running backs just like last year. I mean, we can't give them all starting. So the Malcolm Brown signing just doesn't really make all too much sense to me. What do you got? Which one do you not like?
Oh man, I'm gonna go with I mean, he was a good receiver in college, but I haven't seen him in the NFL. Robert Foster. I mean, we're going to be deep at receiver, especially when we draft a receiver in the draft. And I just don't see him making that that 5-6 active roster, man. I don't understand what was the signing about. I don't know. He went to college with Tua, but he wasn't really that receiver at Alabama.
No, I mean I get the relationship aspect. You keep two, you keep the receiver that like helped him develop a little bit, but just having him as our first receiver that we signed in the offseason, it certainly turned some heads in a bad direction amongst the fans and even myself. I didn't understand them, but like I said, getting Fuller yesterday, Thursday afternoon, I I was over the moon happy. I was sitting here on my computer doing schoolwork, and then I just see, oh, Will Fuller signs with the Dolphins. It's like, oh, thank God. Oh, that's amazing. But so, I mean, now that we have a general idea of how Miami's doing, I mean, we have a pretty set team. The defense improved a little bit. We lost Van Noy, and we lost Lawson, but in return, we also got Benardrick McKinney, who is a cheaper, very hidden, underrated linebacker. And then Justin Coleman, and along with some of the other pieces. So now that we have this sort of team building in our back of our heads, come draft day at number 3 overall, what's the decision? Where are we going with? I know you've been adamant about a very specific wide receiver in general, so I want to hear that pitch again. Give me that pitch.
I want Jamar Chase. He's big. He's physical. He can play slot. He can play outside. He has sure hands. But if we can't get him, Devontae Smith.
I will
Who do
say
you?
this: being at number 3 is beautiful because if the Jets mess up their pick, which I believe that they will, if they take Chase or Smith, we still have the latter option available. So if we stay still at number 3 and we do get a wide receiver, which honestly seems the most likely now, because we don't really need Sewell, even though he would be an upgrade, but he's not needed. Trading back would be good, but I would prefer to get a premier wide receiver. I mean, I'm excited. We get a premier, like arguably the best wide receiver in the draft. You can argue Smith, you can argue Chase, but how the Dolphins are looking at it, we're getting one of them. So now you look at the wide receiver room: Devontae Parker, Will Fuller, and then either Chase or Smith, and then you have the backups with Grant, Wilson, Hearns, Foster. I mean, I would love to see all the Tua haters after this season be like, oh, he's not a quarterback. Oh, trade him for Watson. Yeah. Keep your mouth shut until he throws for 4,000 yards. Give him 30 touchdowns and like 10 interceptions. That guy is going to go off in his sophomore year.
Love it,
But
man. This is deep. I can't wait for the show.
it's going to be so exciting. I can't wait to actually, hopefully, you know what? Maybe we might go to the playoffs this year, because 10-6 doesn't mean anything like it did last year. So.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's exciting. Free agency, I think we definitely did do some good moves. The Jacoby Brissett signing was definitely underrated. Not one I was anticipating at all, but that's a solid backup. So if Tua does go down for a game, Brissett has proved that he's an elite second string quarterback. And we
Yeah.
got him at a pretty decent deal. What did we get him at? We got him at a $5 million deal.
Not
So
bad.
that is not bad at all. That's perfectly fine with me. So, I mean, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Free agency is still going to keep going until the draft, and even then, this free agency is going to be a thing for the rest of the NFL. But is there one player that hasn't been signed that you would like to see wearing the Miami Dolphins, the aqua and white, in the future?
Oh man, it's a good question, man. One player that hasn't been signed, who I would like to be in a Miami Dolphin jersey.
Mhm.
This is a hard one, man. I don't even know. I can't even think because we did so much damage.
We did. We got a lot. I believe the Dolphins are still sitting pretty at about, last time I checked, before the Will Fuller thing was about 20 mil. So I think our cap space is about, it's in the tens, I know. So we still have enough money to sign a pretty decent starter, but nobody too special. Um,
So what about you? Who do you want?
I mean, if I'm thinking best case scenario, I would love to see a cheap deal with Kenny Galladay. Like a nice little 1 year, 5 million. I know he's never gonna do that because that is way too cheap for a receiver like him. But if we can sort of form our own little, mega wide receiver core and then manage to pull one of the top wide receivers in the draft class, we'd be set for a very, very long time. But that's just wishful thinking. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm excited. I think this Dolphins team is going to be one of the best that we've had in a very long time. If you think last year's was good, I think this one is going to be much, much better.
12-4.
12-4. Oh man, that'd be nice. I'd say the ceiling is 13-3. The floor has got to be 8-8. Anywhere in between that.
Yeah, we play at the Bucks. We got the Bills twice and all that. It's gonna be. We got them though. It's all good.
Oh yeah, no, no. I mean, we're gonna have a difficult schedule, but this is gonna be a difficult team to beat. So we'll just stay tuned and we'll see what happens. But I think that'll wrap up this episode. Like I said, this is probably one of the biggest episodes that we've had for this series because of the magnitude of it. Our next biggest one will definitely be during or before the draft, and then as well as after the draft when you analyze the picks. But yeah, thank you for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment. Tell us who you think is your favorite free agent pick, your least favorite. Tell us if we're right. Tell us if we're wrong. We'd love to hear it. Thank you guys so much. We'll be back next week and as well as later on in the week to post the weekly. So thank you, and we will see you real soon.
Hands up.